What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. On the screen right now is the team we are taking into the final 10 games. I've had a lot of fun with this team. The upgrades on these players just made this just so fun to play with. Obviously we have upgraded Bellerin, upgraded Dele Alli, upgraded Firmino, upgraded Costa and upgraded Eden Hazard in our team. On the bench we have the upgraded Heung-min Son and we also have in the club upgraded Rashford, but this is the team I was using, you know, and I spoke in the last episode a little bit about using a team, going back to a team that I know I liked, you know, players that I know I enjoyed, a team that I've had a lot of fun with and a lot of success with before. That's what I went back to, and I could not be happier. Going into this first game here, guys, we were 25-5. So we had leeway to lose 1 game to get Elite 1, 3 games to get Elite 2, and 5 games. No, wait, even more. 6 games. We had leeway to lose 6 games to get Elite 3. If I couldn't win 4 out of 10 games, I did not deserve to be a FIFA player. That is for sure. And one of the biggest things, as I say, guys, one of the biggest things for me was just playing with teams and players that I just knew I liked. I would still change a certain few things about this team. I think Dele Alli, for as good as his card stats are and as decent as he's done in the games, he wasn't like overpowering. I would much prefer to put Emre Can in there, and maybe in a couple of weeks I will. But obviously after these 10 games are done, guys, after that the next weekend league is Bundesliga or La Liga. So I'm going to do a squad builder next episode. I'll do a live video next episode. I'll do a squad builder live. We'll build our squad, tactics, formations, etc. and play a Division 1 game live. That'd be pretty fun, I think. In the last episode, guys, I said to you guys, let's try and hit 5k likes as kind of like the minimum sort of like target. I said to you guys, if you're on the video and it's under 5k, just drop a thumbs up. How many likes did it get? 12,610 in less than 24 hours. That is absolutely obscene. And I can't thank you guys enough. So into our last batch of 10 games, guys, and as I said, I needed 9 wins to get Elite 1. I wasn't really going for Elite 1, I was just going for Elite at all, any Elite. And I ended up getting pretty much battered in this game. I thoroughly deserved the loss. My opponent was considerably better than me. It took him till the 84th minute to actually win the game, but he definitely deserved the win. He messaged me after as well saying good game. I did get a little unlucky on one of the goals there, a couple of my defenders. In fact, I think on his final goal, my 2 defenders in the box took each other out, which allowed him the space. But it would be, you know, wrong of me to say that he didn't deserve that win, because he did. Going into the next game, obviously now I've lost my first of this 10, so I'd need to win 9 straight to get Elite 1. Not going to be easy, especially when we go into a game against another viewer and another really strong team, a really strong opponent. And what I did here was I caught myself playing a little bit angry. I caught myself, and I haven't done that this weekend. You know, I've tried to stay calm. I've tried to make sure that the games I'm playing are games that, you know, I'm confident playing FIFA, because I've been playing good FIFA this week, and I tried to remain under that kind of impression the whole weekend. I tried to tell myself, even if you go 1-0 down, even if you go 2-0 down, even if you lose, just remember that you are playing good FIFA and the goals and the wins will come. Last weekend league, I had a huge issue where I just, you know, I kept going on loss streak after loss streak. However, this game right here, these 2 games right here, were the first time this whole weekend league that I'd lost back-to-back games. Which was quite frustrating. I pulled it back to 2-1. I really should have scored here with Hector Bellerin. I hit both posts. It rolled across the line. I was the better player in this game. If in the last game I say to you guys, I was happy to understand that I was outclassed and my opponent was better. In this game, I was definitely not outclassed. I was the better player. I just could not take my chances, which was really frustrating. My opponent scored 2 goals from his 3 shots. He had way more possession because, as you saw at the end there, he switched to a 5-back formation and started passing around the back and doing what he did to get the win, because I guess he could tell that he was being outclassed, so he did what he needed to do to win. I don't fault him for that. That's, you know, it's in the game, it's how it is. It was my bad for not taking my chances. But after 2 losses in a row, my Elite 1 dream was over, so I could now afford 1 more loss still to get to Elite 2, and would have to win the remaining 7 games. And we started off pretty damn good. Now, I've got a lot of really good comments for this video. I hope I've got enough time to get through them all, because there's some really good questions. The first one is from Charlie Lilly. He says, I think you should play Nick's Poor Man's Road to Glory, because lots of people would like to see it. I know you have said you don't want to compete with him, but one match doesn't mean that all of a sudden one of you has a better series and no one will stop watching one series. Hope you read this, love the series. This has a lot of thumbs up, so I'll address it again. The reason why Nick and I decide not to play each other isn't because of what you might think or what I think or what Nick thinks or the fact that one game is genuinely quite irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. It's because of what will happen between the hardcore fan bases. If I beat Nick, there will be a stigma there from my fans to him and his fans that we just don't want. And if Nick beats me, it'll be the same. This community, for the good portion of people, there is a small percentage of people who are just out for blood 24/7. They just want to piss off people. They just want to get under people's skin. And no matter the result between me or Nick, one set of fans will go and harass and ruin the like enjoyment of the other set of fans and the YouTuber, and it's just not worth it. And I would do it if it wasn't Nick's poor. I would play Nick on like his pack account, because there's nothing to that. But because the Poor Man's Road to Glory and the Road to Glory have such two hardcore sets of fans, it would only be problematic. I'm telling you guys, it would be problematic. But you know, we might meet up in Fatal one time or another. Billy X says, do you think 27 out of 40 in Foot Champs is good? Love your vids. I think it's great, dude. I think I honestly think gold or better is really, really good. You know, we talked about this before. In my opinion, once you get to like the gold 1 stage, you're pretty much in like the top sort of 1 to 2,000, maybe 3,000 people in the world. I think Elite is like definitely top 1,000. Elite 1, you know, if you get 34 wins, you're very, very close to the top 100. So Elite 1 is like top 250. Elite 2 is probably top 500. And Elite 3, you'd be saying maybe top 1,000. But I don't, like, this is just based on my opinion. This isn't based on anything, like any facts or evidence or anything, because I don't know if there are 10,000 people that hit Elite 3. Do you know what I mean? I don't have the numbers. I don't have the facts. This is just based on my opinion and what information I can gather. But if you've got 27 wins out of 40, dude, that is fantastic. S. Tuel says, hi Nep, I think it would be a lot of fun if EA puts a fantasy football game mode in FIFA. You can get a certain budget to spend on players you think are going to perform well, and you can play with that team if you want, either online or offline. If the player performs well, his card stats get upgraded by a certain amount. Maybe the players can get a specific amount of points for goals, assists, etc. Those points will be distributed over his in-game stats, so you choose the players well at the start of the season. You might eventually be playing with an absolute monster team. There will be no subs, also no fitness, contracts, injuries. I would find it amazing if EA actually do this, and we'll have to hear your opinion on this idea. Really appreciate your videos and much love for the Netherlands. By the way, look at this game. This speed up lag is just horrendous, guys. It's just horrendous. Like, I had this quite a lot this weekend. I was getting speed up lag. I managed to not lose any of the games with which I had speed up lag in. 2 of them just disconnected whilst it was a draw, so it just didn't count as a game, and 2 of them I won. 3 of them, sorry, I won. So very, very happy about that. But yeah, I think fantasy FIFA, fantasy Ultimate Team is something that I actually talked about a couple years back. I think it would be amazing to do that. And do you guys remember the Ultimate League? That was essentially a style of fantasy FIFA. There's so much EA can do with Ultimate Team in terms of fantasy sports. Like, what I would love to see, much like what you say, is using a coin budget, you build a team, and then you either take that team into tournaments and win more coins, and then with those coins you can improve your team, or basically build a team with a budget, and then, like you say, how they perform in real life will fluctuate their value, and then you can sell and buy just for fun. It would be amazing. There's what you've proposed is definitely a really good idea. I actually think you're a FIFA mobile player, right? Because they have something called I can't remember what they're called, but basically they have something near identical. They release a batch of players every week, and then based on how they play in real life, they accumulate points, and then those points go into their attributes that boost the card. So you can buy the card as a 78 rated, and if that guy has an incredible weekend, he can go up to as high as an 88 rated. So you could end up buying him for super cheap. If he has a great real life, session, he'll go up to an 88 rated, and boom, before you know it, you've got yourself an 88 rated player for super cheap. In FIFA, that would be amazing. It's almost like the ones to watch cards, essentially. In that sense, like, you buy the ones to watch card. If they have an incredible week in real life, they get bumped up. But I think it would be fun to have something a little bit more concrete, but yeah, that fantasy FIFA definitely has a place in Ultimate Team, in my opinion. I'm telling you, we talked about like features and stuff a little bit in the last episode. There is so much EA can do with this game. that I assume they're not doing it because they either don't have the time or don't have the budget or resources available. You know, I speak about this a fair bit. There's a lot that goes on in FIFA that you guys don't know. Like, for example, the Ultimate Team development team is not a huge team. It's not an unlimited funds team. Like, they're not, like EA is not Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team is one branch. As we finally hit Elite 3, by the way, we've got 29 wins. Very happy with that. Yeah, when people say, oh, these, you know, EA are just money hungry, the Ultimate Team development team are not the guys that are money hungry. They get paid a standard wage for the industry that they're in. They love the game and they do the best they can. They don't have unlimited time and unlimited resources like a lot of games do, because FIFA is a one-year cycle rather than an ongoing game like Minecraft or League of Legends or Diablo, you know, which release patches every 3 months, every 6 months for years on years on years and only bring out new games every 5, 8, 10 years. FIFA doesn't have that. FIFA doesn't have the luxury of being able to do that. FIFA has a one-year cycle. So any bugs that are in the game, or any problems that are in the game, or any features that they'd love in the game have to be prioritized in a certain manner. Not only for time restraints, but as I say, like whether or not they have the smarts to be able to code the features, whether or not they would be beneficial to the game or induce more problems. You know, there's so much to be mentioned when thinking about that I think sometimes the actual dev team or the EA, the Ultimate Team section of FIFA gets a lot of undeserved stick, because more often than not they're being told by their bosses no, no, no. You know, because the big wigs at EA are sitting there saying we just want money. Like, it's a business at the end of the day. Of course they want to make money. Of course the product that they create has to be good as well. But EA is not FIFA. And FIFA is not Ultimate Team, and Ultimate Team in turn is not EA. EA has an absolute plethora of games, you know, it's crazy. It's not as simple as just that. So whilst those sort of features would be absolutely sensational, there is so much I would prefer in this game before we see something like that, which is mental for me to say, because I would love it. For example, I would love to see in this game bulk listing of consumables. Simple concept. I just want to be able to click on a bronze contract or bulk like adding of consumables. By the way, guys, this guy here, G-Star123, pretty decent team. I lost this game, right? So this put me into a position where I'd need to win the rest of my games, I believe, for Elite 2. But I lost this game. And it was really frustrating because I outplayed him a little bit, but you know, he scored some goals, he held on to the win. It's neither here nor there. What's really, really mental is on my pack-only account on my main channel, I matched up against this guy again about 2 hours later, and I was like, damn, I've seen this guy. I went and checked my footage. I knew I'd lost to him. I made him rage quit on my pack-only Road to Glory account, and that's important for one of the comments coming up. But bottom line is, fantasy FIFA would be great, but I'm sure there are many, many more things that will be implemented into the game before something like that comes along. Which is sad, but yeah, it would be absolutely fantastic. Hefida Production says, hi Nep, you've talked about this before, but not in depth. If you have no players from La Liga, is the SBC Suarez, who is about 600,000 coins, worth it? Does he play better than the normal Suarez to the point that I say I will sell the normal one and trade my way up to SBC Suarez? Love the content. Absolutely not. And this game here, and talking about my pack-only account and this account, is testament to that. I've got a super team on this account, no two ways about it. The players I've got to hand are just phenomenal. On my pack-only account, I've got a garbage team. I don't even have chem styles. I don't have a formation that I enjoy using. I have nothing at all that suits me on my pack-only account. And I managed to beat that guy on that account, and I lost to that guy on this account. What that comes to conclude for me is two things. Number one, Elo is not a thing in this game, because I have never, ever, ever got out of silver on that pack-only account, and I played against that guy. Yet I consistently finish in Elite in this account, and I played against that guy. So that says to me, Elo does not exist. How can it? How can I have two wildly different accounts and still play the same guy? Elo doesn't exist, which means mostly it is just based on luck. If you come up against a top 100 player or a competitive player or a professional player in Foot Champs, it's luck. And the way that luck is distributed, again, can be a testament to why I will have a shield or window of where I finish, which seems to be anywhere between sort of 27 to 33 wins. Because one weekend I'll get lucky and I'll manage to evade all the pro players and competitive players and stuff, and that's when I'll get my 32, 33 wins. Which this weekend I did. And I tell you something, guys, I didn't come up against a single professional this weekend. I came up against one guy who's finished consistently in top 100, and I beat him. And I came up against nearly no guys that I recognise as competitive. So I got lucky this weekend because I didn't come up against any difficult opponents. It genuinely comes down to the time you search and the time that somebody else searches and whether or not you back out against that one here or there. It is genuinely luck, right? It is so heavily luck based that this weekend I finished on 32 wins. We end up getting 7 out of our last 10 games to finish on 32 wins, which I was super happy with. But if I were to search for games at different times, I could easily have finished on 34 wins or 26 wins. It's mental. It's absolutely mental how lucky you can be when you're selecting your player, like the person you play against. But to talk about your Suarez and whether or not it's worth it, my pack-only account has shown to me that players and team are literally almost nothing. I've said it so many times before, player skill is the most important thing. And the games I played on my pack-only account yesterday, back-to-back games, I came up against dudes who were viewers and messaged me. One of them said that I've just ruined his Elite 1 dreams. So I added him as a friend, and last weekend he finished Elite 3, and this weekend he finished Elite 2. And I played against him with my garbage account, and I beat him. And then another person messaged me and said that he's just finished Gold 1. I think he said he was like 26 and 14. So I'm playing with an account that's absolutely horrendous. And I'm able to compete and beat players who finish very high consistently in the Gold 1 and Elite categories with my garbage team. So to me, that furthermore suggests two things. Number one, there is a meta in this game that you must follow, and that meta is pace and strength are absolutely key above all else. What do I have on my pack-only account? I've got Callum Wilson, I've got Abel Hernandez, I've got Andros Townsend, I've got Jose Callejon, I've got Montero, the left mid. I've got pacey players that I use well, and they win me games. I've also got non-pacey players like Lucas Perez and Jermaine Defoe who do decent and score goals, but notably, the pacey players win me the games. So it says there is a meta in this game, and if you follow that meta, you will essentially be good no matter who the player is. But number two, that also tells me that just use your favourite players, because the micromanaging is only going to be different for you for a game or two here or there. It's never going to change the overall of your whole results. So if on average you finish Gold 1 and then you go and just dump the whole team that you've got and build a team that you love instead, as long as it fits within the meta, you will probably still finish Gold 1. There is not much about the beast players that makes a difference. There might be an occasion where me having Hazard instead of having Montero will win me a game because of that long shot that Montero would just never make, or that that clear-cut opportunity that Hazard scores that Montero might miss, or later on in the game in the 75th or 80th minute where Hazard's stamina is far more valuable to me than Montero. But because those things are so finite in the way the results are decided, because if I'm 3-0 up, Montero not having stamina is irrelevant because I'm going to win the game. I'm 3-0 up. The only time the super teams and the super players are really going to define you and your results are in those games where you are matched up against someone who is of equal playing ability or of better playing ability than you. That's where that Luis Suarez, the 94 Luis Suarez might just get you an edge win over a person rather than the 92. But with that being said, those games, again, proven by the fact that there seemingly is no ELO system, those games will be so few and far between, because how often do you really come up against someone on your exact skill level? I know for a fact it's not often, because I played the same dude on both accounts. And on one account I beat him, and on the other account I didn't beat him. That's something in itself as well. I knew I was dominating him on my main account. How did I not beat him? Was it because my team was so good I just assumed that I deserved to win the game? Was it because I focused a lot more harder on my poor team because I know that I need to play better with that team? I don't know. But if you build just a team of players that you love, assuming that there's absolutely nothing outstandingly bad, like if you just love John Terry, you're probably going to lose games because of John Terry, because that pace just is not competitive enough. 55 pace, 65 pace, you get into a section where, okay, this is going to be manageable. Obviously, for defenders, 70 plus pace is ideal. But if you've got someone with like 24 pace or something, you're probably going to be like, okay, you know, when for example, Peter Crouch can just sprint past your centre-back, you've got some issues, okay? But if you build within the meta of the system, you will undoubtedly win as many games as any other time, just because the players work in the system. It's a really weird one. It's definitely something I'd love to get a bit more in-depth information on. And this weekend league coming up is going to be a big test for me, because I'm going to be using a team and players that I've not used before and that aren't nearly as good as the players that I typically use. So it's going to be really interesting for me to see how well I perform with these and whether or not I can get elite again or not. It's going to be a real big test. I'd love to talk about this more, but I'm nearly out of time. Definitely, I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback on this in the comment section, guys, and we'll talk about it a bit more. But I completed the SBCs there after this weekend league, guys. We've got a rare players pack and a premium gold players pack, a prime gold players pack available. I was hoping for anything, any big flair, any big player, someone worth something. We've got the upgraded El Neni in that pack right there, which is great. We've got Pedro, we've got Andy Carroll, which is fantastic because they will be useful to us at one stage or another. And then in our 50k pack, what did we get? Not only did we get a special card, not only did we get a man of the match card, but we got an upgraded man of the match card. That big blue flare comes out. We get the 87 rated Edin Dzeko. And my God, does that card look like it'd make a fantastic centre midfielder. He's resemblant of Diego Costa. He's got really great physicals, medium work rate, incredible shooting, good dribbling and passing. He's 6'4". He would make a fantastic centre mid. So when there is a Calcio A specific weekend league, I'm not going to sell him. I looked at his price and he's like 25k. I would rather keep him for 25k. You never know when you're going to need an 87, need one of those cards for an SBC. So I thought, hey, let me keep him. But guys, that was an awesome pack to complete the thing with. We also got upgraded Danny Rose, who I sold on because I think I sold him for like 4 or 5k, something like that. So I thought I'll sell him, get my money's worth now, and then hopefully if I need him again, I'll buy him back, and if I don't, I'll pack him, I'm sure, at some other occasion. But this, guys, is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.